Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Teresa Augustinelli from Glen Mills Coaching and Consulting. As you know, for the whole month of May, Monday through Friday, I am giving all of my viewers, friends, and family an opportunity to meet some of my most trusted coaches, mentors, business consultants, and successful colleagues. So I hope that you will join me every day, Monday through Friday, for the rest of the month of May at 11 o'clock. So today, as you know, the name of my segment is called May I Introduce You? So today, may I introduce you to Yordell Perkins from Perkatet. Good morning.
Good morning, Teresa, and thanks for having me on the show today.
You are welcome. So I have the privilege of working with Yardell on different kinds of things. So Yardell, just tell us a little bit about yourself, your company, and what you've been doing during this global pandemic.
Well, my company is named Perkatect. The working slogan, which I may be dating myself a bit with, is "Let us build your soapbox." And I strive to assist individuals and organizations with either creating or rebuilding their digital presence, which I typically accomplish through any combination of a website, graphic design, or digital marketing plan. And as I like to tell potential clients, one reason you may consider working with me as opposed to any of the other freelancers or studios in my space is that I don't try to make any of my clients unnecessarily dependent on me through the use of maintenance plans after the fact of a project build, which, again, if you know anything about website design or social media, the back end of those projects involve maintenance plans where after a project is done, if you're willing to shell out a nominal fee on a monthly basis, whoever helped you is willing to stay on board and continue to assist with basic things like fixes, updates, and emergency hot fixes if those things come up. Now, to be clear, I do offer those plans, but during the course of a development of a project, I like to educate my clients on how to manage or understand their assets. So when the time comes that the project is over, they feel confident in taking them in their hand, and the conversation of a ongoing maintenance plan is more optional.
So I love that word educate because many of you out there probably don't know, but I hired Yardell to work on my social media because of COVID-19. I'm expanding my services. I've launched a new company, and all I've been hearing is time to update, time to update. So Yardell has been updating my social presence. And Yardell, tell me about what you're seeing now that people have had all of this downtime. I'm wondering if people are just feeling like, forget it. What's the sense of updating anything anyway? Or are they saying, hey, I really have to get my social media presence updated? Tell me what your thoughts are there.
I've been seeing a lot of people sitting down and reviewing their workflow and their operations to see where the the loose strings and the loopholes and the leaks are at, because basically this pandemic, which eventually led into the quarantine, has kind of put a spotlight on any of those things that any of our businesses had. And a lot of people have been coming to bear with where like the weak links in their chains have been, and what if anything they can do to quickly like fix them or getting place to make them stronger down the line, which in a way kind of makes all of this a good thing, because getting people to really stop and say, okay, how can I truly weather this? Because when all is said and done, those who are left behind are going to be that much stronger to pretty much ride out any other crisis in the future. Because when you think about it, is the last time we had anything remotely close to something of this nature within the past, say, hundred so years was, I don't remember the exact date, but I think there was a parade in Philadelphia down Broad Street on 1912. And I'm not sure of all the details, but essentially there was some type of bug going around then, but everybody just ran out, had this parade, and that exploded everything.
So, speaking of exploding, your business is exploding. I know that you're getting busier and busier. So, for someone like me who is very busy, I don't have time to update, upgrade, babysit my social media. What would you say to someone like me who would like to hire you? How do you make people's headaches go away for social media?
As far as social media, I make people's headaches go away by showing them how to streamline and scale their social media base and platform. One of the ways I like to do that is to set my clients up on a base group of 3 to 5 platforms, which is typically Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and then there's a Google business page. Now, I don't necessarily expect all my clients to get into all those platforms to the same degree. It depends on what their particular space is or good or service, but that pretty much covers the broad aspect of all the mediums they could need. You take Facebook, that's essentially one of the newspapers of the internet where people can go and read quick posts and from different people on things they do and articles and just anything they like to particularly give tidbits of information on. You take Twitter, that's kind of a just breaking news bit where someone can quickly do, like, I think it's 240 characters now, do a quick tidbits of information on stuff that's happening, or maybe along the way they can do what's live tweeting. Instagram is more of a visual aspect, which is largely helpful for realtors. They want to show off their houses they're doing, maybe do quick pictures. YouTube is the video aspect, and you want to do actual video work. And finally, there's Google Business, which is something Google's always offered, and it's so simple to set up, and that basically just gives people a lot of help off the bat with ranking on Google pages and their searches.
So, speaking of 1912, the Spanish flu, I think you were referring to. Now that we're in 2020, we have more advanced technology and ways to communicate. So, because we've been inundated with negativity, we're all just getting overwhelmed with information and knowledge and overwhelmed with news media. I'd like to start turning the corner and start preparing my business and the people that I serve in coaching and consulting. I'd like to start preparing them for re-entry into mainstream. So, what would you say to help alleviate people's maybe fears of updating or upgrading, investing? What would you say to encourage people to continue to upgrade, update, invest?
I would I would say basically one, just take it one thing at a time. Like going back to what I said previously as far as setting individual up on those 5 basic social medias. If there's one particular social media platform that you know you're comfortable with, even if it isn't in any of those 5, start with that one and just shore that one up as far as posting, updating, and making sure people know that you're consistent and active there. Another thing I would say is, as far as calming people down, is to kind of just try to take things one day at a time. because this whole quarantine thing, we're in the second month of it now. It seems like maybe things are starting to relax and open up, but no one's really going to know when things are going to completely open. And even when they do, what you're hearing people talk about now is this new normal we're going to be living in. And even if with that, no one really knows what that's ultimately going to look like. There'll be an initial version of it, and then there'll likely have to be iterations of that before we get to some final. And trying to like plan so far out and figure out how to attack and deal with that is probably won't get you anywhere. As the military likes to say, there's no plan that survives the battlefield or contact with the enemy. That's not to say don't make plans, but have them be kind of guidelines, while at the same time just say, okay, let's just figure out this day or this week, and then based on what happened at the end, let's figure out next week and every day of that week.
So would you encourage people to continue to update and upgrade their social media to get ready for reemergence back in, for the changes, to be ready for those changes?
Yes, I would, because the social media aspect is digital, and if anything, it's kind of forced people to get onto the internet and go digital. I mean, you look at what we're doing now, it's starting to become a Zoom world where I think a couple of months back, the only people who even knew what Zoom was were former or previous tech professionals like myself. And even those of us who had it, we kind of just had the free program that they've always offered. And now basically everyone's on Zoom, and just about everyone is at least buying into their basic professional plan. And yeah, the social media aspect, that's something that anyone can kind of at least look into or talk to someone about, because you don't have to go anywhere, and well, no one can go anywhere right now.
Yeah, and so one of the things that I'm seeing is um, there's an old saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, you have to start learning the new tricks of the trade, because what I'm seeing is many people are either afraid to tackle the social media and Zoom and all of the new ways of communicating. They're afraid, or they just don't know how to do it, so they don't. So one of the things I felt very confident with you and comfortable with you and your services is that you've walked me through every step of the way, and you have the values and the integrity that people need nowadays, because things have changed so much and it's so hard to stay on top of things. So Yardell, you're very patient, you're very knowledgeable about your craft, and you are a hands-on kind of guy. You don't bring your clients out into the deep end of the water and leave them there. You swim along with them, and I really like that about you. So one more question, Yardell. How could people get a hold of you, and what's some information that they can take away today as we close?
Well, yeah, just to close, as far as the type of people who may want to reach out to me, I'm happy to have conversations with anyone who just wants to have a simple, no pressure conversation about their current digital space, or if they don't have a current digital space or platform, what they may be interested in and how I may be able to help them. Emphasis on may, because they're depending on what they want, I may be able to help them, or I may know of someone else who can help them, or better yet, they may not even need my help at all. Just as a quick short story on that end, when I initially started out, there was an individual who came to me who wanted me to build a website for them. And it was pretty much, I don't know how they heard about me because I just started out, but somehow they heard about me. They showed up, they had the money in hand. It was, I need your help. I want your help. Where can we start? Here's the deposit. And I said, hold on, slow down. Tell me what you're looking for and what you need. And the more I listened to what they needed and what they were looking for, the more I started to say to myself, listen, it sounds like what you need, you can build for yourself in Squarespace. And I explained that to them. And it was essentially, look, I'll take your money and I can build your site if you want, but it sounds like you can build this yourself for a lot less on Squarespace. And I showed them the platform, walked them through it. They went off. They came back a short while later and said, look, I appreciate what you said. I got off fine. If I need something else, I'll let you know down the line. I haven't heard from them ever again, but that doesn't really bother me because it goes back to what they needed. Yeah, I had it, but they didn't have to get it from me. So as far as how individual can contact, if you'd like to have a similar conversation, you can call or text me at 215-325-0403, or you can find me on my website. That's Perkatech. That's PERKITECH.com.
Thank you. Or you can get a hold of me, folks. I'm happy to connect you with Perkatech. Yardell, one more question for those of us who may or may not know, what is a landing page for those who've never really experienced a big social media presence?
A landing page is typically is what it sounds like. It's a one-page website where where you get like a brief description of your business, what you do, maybe some examples of what you've done, and how people can reach out to you. It's essentially, I like to think of it as the digital equivalent of an elevator pitch, where if you want a website where you can like build yourself from, but you don't need anything expansive, like with multiple pages, like an about, a blog, or contact, all the rest of it. Yeah, you have this one page, everything is there, and it's very short and simple. It's it's like company name, what you do, some examples of what you do, and if you've been doing it already, maybe some testimony from people you've helped, and at the bottom line is, hey, contact me.
Great, thank you. So for those of you who may be new to the world of social media, you need a landing page for people to find you. Or if you've been doing this for years and you want to spruce up your digital presence, you need to make sure that you are up to date with the times. And Yardell, I just want to say thank you for being with us today. You are one of my trusted advisors for keeping me socially present. And hey, everybody, I hope you'll join in tomorrow at 11 o'clock for my next guest. And again, if you'd like to get a hold of Yardell, perkatech.com. You can find this presentation today on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, my website, glenmillscc.com. And I really appreciate the time you've taken to be with us, Yardell. You've given us a lot of helpful hints. Thank you very much. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks, Yardell.
Again, thank you for having me.